Good afternoon. It is July the 5th, 2017, and going to wrap up today's trading and take a look at tomorrow. We'll start with our disclaimer. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Okay, we came into today's market hoping to sell 34s to 36s, but we said it might take our first sell zone was 29 to 31. Our buy zone was 20 to 22. You had this information in your hands at 7 Central, and there's our buy zone, and there was our sell zone. And you got 3 trades out of the sell and 1 trade out of the buy. And again, we do know where support and resistance are, and we've got a pretty good idea which way the market's going to trade. And off the opening bell. Put those two together, our opening market calls are really, I've been told by many people, better than anything they've seen before. So the issue is, how do you take the trades? So here's a retest failure. And the retest failure has become the trade of choice in the E-mini because of low volatility. So you can just see the retest failure trade is everywhere in this particular contract. And so we have to adjust. We have to move on the fly like everybody else does. Things don't work forever. And when they stop working, we come in and we make the necessary adjustments. So we caught the E-mini well today. Looking at the F1 screen, lower high, lower low, we can sell it. We'll be in the same situation we've had. 30 to 35 will be resistance, and 15 to 20 will be support. Not much of a reaction to the FOMC minutes. And right now we do have a P. I've seen stronger P's, but it was put in backwards. It didn't start off the opening. So looks like we got a buyer below 22, and right now we've got a seller above 30, and that's where we're going to be. Now, we have a lot of news tomorrow, and ADP 180. International trade minus 46.2. Jobless claims 244. ISM PMI services 53. ISM services 56.5. And then crude at 11, not 10:30. So we'll have crude. And the focus will be ISM services and ADP. Now, the market typically is held in check by the day after tomorrow's non-farm payroll numbers, so we'll expect that too. So we're in the same situation we were this morning. Do we sell 30 plus or minus? It depends on where we close. If we close here in this 30 area, I think we can do a little better. So we'll start out with 34 to 36, sell 1. 39.41, sell 2, based on the idea we can be a little bit higher. And we're going to put a question mark at 30. I don't know where we're going to close. If we close in the 25, 26 area, then be more comfortable to sell at 30. If we close at 24.30, I'll be less comfortable with it. But we'll have a pretty good hint at what happens based on the overnight in London. So 24.26 buy 1. And 19 to 21 by 2. Certainly will be adjusted in the morning. Okay, treasuries are pointed lower. Every central bank in the world is talking about raising rates. The United States has done it. So, well, long term, it points to lower prices. And oh, here we sit, lower high, lower low. Find a place to sell it on the F1. And don't dismiss that. Oh, great, lower high, lower low. What the hell does that mean? There's got to be more to it than that. There really doesn't. And the more you work with that analysis and making that call, the more confident you'll become with it. 8 to 12 is resistance. We have a high at 10.5. So we'll make 8 to 12, sell 1. And 15 to 19, sell 2. On the buy side, and I think we're headed lower, so we'll make it 29 to 01, buy 1. 21.25, buy 2. I'm really kind of pleased where we are this summer. There have been some summers where we've been too tight on our trades and have not been able to ring the bell like we have been able to this summer. So 12.16 where we were this morning, number 1. 19.23, sell 1. 27.31, sell 2. On the buy side, last rotate down stopped at 2, so the buck to 04, 1. 25.29, buy 1. And 17 to 21, buy 2. So we caught both sides of the bond market today with our calls this morning. Caught both sides of the E-mini this morning. We do know where support and resistance are, and I'm not doing that to brag. It's just that I'm just trying to point out that you do have access to superior information that will make you money if you trade it. Well, how do I know if you're right, Charles? Well, take the trades and see what your bottom line looks like. Okay, an outside day in gold. I think as long as we stay below 1225, ultimately we end up at 1200 for stops below that. Outside day means find a place to trade it. So we'll make 24.26, sell 1. 28 to 30, sell 2. On the buy side, 19 to 21. Buy 1, and 14 to 16, buy 2. Now, because we like the trend and the trend is our friend, our last call, or sometimes our last two calls, directionally, will be wrong just by definition. And as when the market actually does change directions, we'll be 1 to 2 calls away from that, and we're going to get a good ride, but we're not going to catch all of it. Crude just got hammered today, and they did get stops below 45 that we've been talking about since a little before lunch. Lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it. And on the close, they brought in a lot of market on close selling too. So here we sit. They've gotten stops below 45, so our first little band of support. We're gonna try for 44.50s, 44.75s by 1, 44 even, 44 and a quarter by 2. On the sell side, 45 and a quarter, 45.50 sell 1, and then 45.75, 46 sell 2. The EIA inventory report is tomorrow at 11, and we have the APIs should be tonight. And the euro is off. The meetings start on the 7th and 8th. And again, like we've talked about, everybody thinks Trump's going to do a lousy job. I just think, here you have a self-made man. And everybody said, yeah, he's not a self-made man. His old man gave him $1 million to start out with, which is true. But most children of wealthy parents don't do what the parents did. And Trump's portfolio and the assets he built, it's like turning $1 into $10,000 over his lifetime. That's pretty hard to do. So this guy knows how to negotiate. He knows good deals and he knows bad deals. Yes, he's had his share of failures, but it's kind of like us as traders. Not every trade works. You just get out there and it looks good and you take it. Okay, euro, maybe a lower high, but definitely a lower low. Sell it. I was on board for the building a Pizza Hut nationwide, and Philadelphia to Long Island was the toughest place to build. And it was because of all the corruption. I mean, you had the unions, you had all sorts of people screwing up the sites. And discounting the cost of land, it cost 40 to 50% more to build a Pizza Hut in the Northeast. Now, over 30 years, that disappears, but it was never fun paying up to do that. And it just, you don't pay, you don't build, is what it boiled down to. So Trump has operated in the world of corrupt people sitting across the table from him, and most dictators in the world are interested in one thing, getting paid. So he's used to handling that mindset. So I think he's capable of doing a much better job than anybody gives him credit for. And we'll see if that actually happens. But he's nobody's fool nor dummy. And he didn't get to where he got to off of blind luck either. He's too consistent. And he does stuff that I'm not really enamored with myself, but we'll see how it goes in Europe. I bet you he'll come back better than they thought he would. Okay, you're going to buy 1350s or 1375s, going to basically sell 1400s, 1425s for the euro. That does it. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning. Y'all have a great evening. I'm out of here.